Hey, it's Dan Kingsley with the Realty Edge team in Rochester, Minnesota, here with your market report for Rochester as of last month. Currently, rates are back up to about 6%, so even though they dipped a few months back, they're back up. October was a very slow month for sales. We saw most of the price reductions that we ever seen in about 4 years. There are currently 165 sales pending, leaving 373 sales for sale. So that pending ratio is 30.7%. Yeah, I know. What does it all mean, Dan? Well, I'm glad you asked. The pending ratio indicates the supply of demand of the market. Specifically, a high ratio means that listings are in demand and quickly going under contract. On the flip side, a low ratio means that there are not enough qualified buyers for the existing ones that are out there for the supply. So we would call this current inventory, as described, as mildly active. So taking a closer look, we notice that 3 to 400,000 price range homes are a large number of contracts pending for sale. Also, based on a graph that I'm going to have up here, we notice that 3 to 400,000 price range has a relatively large inventory of properties for sale at 95 listings. The median list price is the asking price for all properties in this market, and that's at $414,900. When we break that down, we notice that the 3 to 400,000 price range contains the highest number of sold listings. We also notice that there is the biggest gap between the properties that are for sale and then the ones that are under contract. So we can easily say now that the inventory has caught up to the demand. Things are selling, average days on market, things are still selling. The average days on markets have gone up. The median's about 46 days. Days on market are still on average at 19, but that's not quite accurate as compared to the median. One of the other things you'll notice that even though the days on market have gone up and the listing inventory is high, that the sellers are still getting right around that 98% to 101% of their list to sale ratio. What does that really mean, the list to sale ratio? That means if you listed a property at 500,000 and you sold it, you'd sell it for 500,000 if it was 100%. But take that with a grain of salt, because there is a difference between the original list price and the final list price. So this list to sale ratio is that. So if we're seeing a 1 or 2% reduced price on the listing and then it goes for sale, it'll look like it's selling for 100%, even though it might have sold for about 2% less. So hopefully that makes sense. Give me a call for that. Overall, very still typical Rochester market, like very steady Eddie. If you're a buyer in the market, you have the ability to possibly get a great deal. If you haven't had a chance in the last 5 years, because the market's been so crazy. So now is the time you have a little bit more time. I also want to point out that even though interest rates have kind of come down and gone back up, they're more than likely going to continue to kind of bounce around at this 5.7 to 6% for a while. And a while, at least a quarter, more than likely a half a year going in. But don't forget about appreciation. So if you look back the last 24 years in Rochester, Minnesota, our average appreciation year over year is 3.8% on average. So if you wait 1 or 2 years to buy a house for the rates to drop, you're going to be paying somewhere between almost 4 to 8% more for the same property. So if you quickly run our amortization schedule, see it's a much smarter financial move to buy now and refinance in a year or two. There's some additional tactics that we could always talk about too, such as like you could use a 2 or 3 year adjustable rate mortgage or an ARM, get the rate lower. Right now you can get those ARMs a lower rate, and then refinance in a year or two when the rates drop. So hopefully this information has helped you. In our market report, again, I'm Dan with the Realty Edge team. Let us know if you need help buying or selling a house. We're here for you. We're always here to serve. Take care.